The PFL is now allowing elbows. The CEO Don Davis posted this to X. He wrote, "You asked for it, we did it. PFL elbows. When we created MMA disruptive sports season format, data showed elbows would result in too many injuries for fighters to compete 4 times in 8 months. Further study, new learnings." Conor McGregor's fiance Dee Devlin has broken her silence on Conor recently being found liable for sexual assault. She posted this to her Instagram story. She wrote, "Imagine a woman with her own boyfriend and child texting provocative pictures of herself to another woman's man with a family and child on the way. This woman claims to know me, yet still went ahead and sent messages and pictures of herself over and over to my man. Really? Whilst out on a 3-day bender, texting excuses to her own child at home, where Mammy is on Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, into Monday morning, all the while out of her face in a hotel room, dancing around a hotel car park. What sort of woman are you?" She followed up with, "My sons will be warned women like you exist in the world." She continued, "CCTV does not lie. I look forward to the day the world will see the footage of you on that night and carry on of you. Not a bother on you having the time of your life. This is the real evidence. Video footage no one knew was being taken in the moment, which you miraculously don't remember. To me, it looks like you're the one sexually assaulting in the lift. To me, it looks like everyone is trying to get away from you." She ended it off with, "Conor and I dealt with these issues privately many years ago, as should be done in a relationship, and we have come out stronger than ever. We have 4 beautiful children now, whose smiling faces and happy hearts are a testament to who he is and who we are. They without sin cast the first stone." Frankie Edgar reflects on his losses towards the end of his MMA career. Frankie was knocked out in his last 3 fights. In 2021, he was knocked out by Corey Sandhagen via flying knee. Later in 2021, he was knocked out by Chito Vera via front kick, and in 2022, he was knocked out by Chris Gutierrez also by a knee. On the Overdogs podcast, Frankie says he just struggled to see strikes coming up the middle.
With all those fights, and you didn't have you had a ton of wins. That's a great record, 30-5. And most of the losses were towards the end of your career. And what would you contribute those losses to? Were you getting tired of all the training and going through the media stuff, or was the game changing constantly, or the youth coming up?
I felt like I fought the best pretty much all the way till the end.
Yeah.
Even the last fight, the guy was pretty good. Before that, I fought Cheeto. It was, could have been a title eliminator. And I felt like I was in that fight. I really start getting the downfall in my career the last 2 years. So I started seeing the downfall. And honestly, to be straight up honest, bro, I got hit with stuff up the middle. I felt like I couldn't see coming up the middle, man. Knees, feet. I felt good in training. I trained pretty hard. I didn't really adjust my training throughout my career as I got older. Even like as I went down in weight class, I kind of kept the same intensity. Was able to do so. My body definitely break. I can't lift my arms up like I used to. And I got a fake hip and all that stuff. But like you said last night, Father Time is just what it is. I feel like I could still compete. I'm probably at a decently high level, but not the level that I want to be. I was always fighting for number 1 contention and title shots. And once I felt like I kind of slipped out of that, I was like, that's what I'm gonna bow out.
Magomed Ankalaev had some words for Jiri Prochazka. Magomed responded to this video Jiri posted yesterday.
"Hello, time to say something after a long time. I'm really looking forward for my next fight. And Jamahal, don't speak about my performances, fight IQ and all these things, because in your last fight you didn't show nothing, really. And the same guy, same Ankalaev, in your last 3 fights you showed totally nothing. So stay on the ground. And okay, so let's see you 18th of January. I'm going to win. I'm going for win. Let's go. See you."
Magomed reposted the video. He wrote, "This is not a high-level fight. This is a bar fight." He followed up with this photo. He wrote, "Hey, why you talk about me? 2 of your last 3 fights you went to sleep. Alex made you go to sleep, but I will make Alex go to sleep, and I believe Jamahal Hill will make you sleep also. Your new name is Sleepy Jiri. Focus on your fight." Michael Bisping thinks Jamahal Hill was a bit of a sore loser after getting KO'd by Alex Pereira. He thinks it will motivate him for his upcoming fight against Jiri Prochazka at UFC 311.
What kind of a fighter is he? Obviously you lose.
He was a sore loser to Pereira, right? Let's just be honest. He was a sore loser. He got knocked out, right? And as men, as fighters,
tough to deal with.
That became a champion. It's hard. It's hard to deal with, and the whole world laughs at you, and they all talk, and he's a proud man, and he's very capable with his hands, and he's a world-class fighter, and he truly feels that he got lucky. He truly feels that when the referee went to step in and then Pereira said, no, you're good, there was like a little moment of loss of concentration or whatever. Now, whether you agree with that or whether you don't, whether you think that's Jamahal making excuses, it doesn't matter. That's what he believes in his mind. That's what he truly believes. He wants to have another go. So he's pissed off. He's angry. But that makes you extremely motivated.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that he just goes out there and wants to lay it on the line and put him away, because I think Jamahal is the better fighter. I think Prochazka is fun. I think he's super crazy and interesting, and I love his persona and who he is as a man. But skill-wise, I think he's starting to get kind of exposed for how reckless he is. He's a little sloppy, but at the same time, that's also what makes him so scary and dangerous too, right? It's the fact that he is unpredictable. I don't even think Prochazka knows what the hell he's going to throw out there half the time when he's in the octagon. And anytime you're fighting a guy like that, it's scary.
Rampage Jackson says that he thought Stipe Moicic would have been a tougher fight for Jon Jones than Tom Aspinall. On the Ariel Helwani show, Rampage said, I feel like Jon Jones' last performance. I don't even think any heavyweight could beat Jon Jones. I think he solidified himself as one of the greatest fighters on the planet. And no disrespect to Aspinall. I think Aspinall is a great fighter. I'm a fan of his as well. But I figured Stipe would be a tougher challenge than Aspinall. I was thinking it on paper. I think Jon Jones is the Neo of MMA. He's Neo. The reason Jon Jones has been so successful in MMA and has been dominating for so long is because his mind is so strong. I've been in the cage with that kid. I heavily underestimated him, and I've been watching his fights ever since, and I see the stuff that he does. He's doing stuff that nobody does. Nobody was doing spinning elbows, just the way he controls the octagon. His mind is really strong, and I've been telling people for years, MMA is 95% mental. Sean O'Malley discusses a potential rematch with Petr Yan.
Yan versus Sugar 2. We'll see what the UFC says. I'm like 3-4 weeks out from being able to start drilling. Once I can start drilling, I feel like I can go to the UFC and have like a timeline. I'm still thinking April might make sense. So we'll see.
That would be crazy though. Yan, would it be 3 rounds? Would it be 5 rounds? That would be.
It's my next fight. If it's not for the title, which I would like it to be, if I could pick me versus Merab, rerun it, blah blah blah, whatever. If it's not for the title, is it a co-main? Could they still main event me on a pay-per-view somewhere?
And what do you think Yan thinks about that rematch?
Well, he said he wants Merabi.
You said he already beat you. That's what he said in his post fight.
I saw that. Been there, said that.
Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo discuss with Bo Nickel how they're both coming off losses and got taken down in their last fights. They ask Bo if he feels the responsibility of carrying the torch of the new wrestling wave and not letting fighters take him down.
Speaking of that, Bo, so Henry and I, we both lost our last fights. The last 2 fights going in there, we both lost. And for the first time, really, in those fights, we were taken down, which never really happens. So it's kind of one of those things to where I feel like nowadays, since the sport changed, we've seen the evolution of the wrestlers, kind of like the new guys and the new wave of guys coming in to carry on that torch of the new level of wrestler. I feel like kind of like you're that new wave. When you go into fights now, do you feel that responsibility? Because I know I felt the responsibility, like, yo, I ain't not letting these bum dudes take me down. No way in hell.
But please, bro, carry that torch for us, bro.
100%. I grew up, wrestling from 5 years old. And so I love the wrestling community. I love representing the wrestlers on this stage. And it's super important for me to go out there and prove that American wrestling is the most dominant form of combat sports. And that's something that I think is true. You know, we don't get a lot of the best guys don't transition over. You know, guys like you transition over, but there's so many good guys that don't. And I feel like for me to transition over young is something that was super cool and exciting, and hopefully motivates other guys to do that as well. You can guarantee that every single guy, I'm going to be taking them down. There's a very, very low chance. I'm not going to say zero because crazy things happen. I could slip on a banana peel or something, but yeah, very low chance that they're taking me down. And if they do, I'm getting up.
Robert Whittaker reflects on his loss to Khamzat Chimaev. Rob was extremely impressed with Khamzat's wrestling.
Like, within seconds of the fight starting, I felt real comfortable standing with him, like real comfortable. But then the dude drops to like a millimeter. How do you stop that takedown, guy? Like,
you just don't.
And understandably, it's like we did a lot of wrestling, we did a lot of stuff, we did a lot of wall work. But mate, it's so hard to replicate that sort of takedown, that sort of commitment. And you know, props to him. Guy knows his strengths, played into him to a T, and is willing to burn it all there for it, right? But anyway, takedown goes in, ankle picks me off the fence. Like it was a great takedown. It was a beautiful takedown.
Yeah.
But then we get to the wall work, and I felt good. Like I understood. Like he has a really heavy sag. He's not ridiculously strong or anything like that, but he had a really heavy sag. And he was really good at making me work. Like he was really good at making sure he was active. Like he was always kind of reaching for underhooks, reaching for ankle picks, trying to get a hook in. He was like making me work, staying active. You know, during the whole time he's kind of sagging me. But even then, I knew the squeeze that he was pushing on going to be very hard to sustain that throughout the rounds. I understood it'd be at 5 rounds, right? And I could feel some of the space opening up later on. But anyway, he puts his forearm across my face for the face crank. It was just picture perfect, like landed square between my, there's that dimple part between your chin and your lip. It's like, it just hits right there. And within like instantly, my teeth gave out.
Khamzat Chimaev grapples with Arman Tsarukyan. Tom Aspinall continues to troll Jon Jones. He posted this to his Instagram story. He wrote, "Forever ignoring me."
Oi. Jon.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from MMA for Life. It says Conor gets dropped by Dustin, then Hitman, then Proper 12, next the UFC. What a downfall. The second one's from It's KCM. It says make Artem the face of Proper 12. And the final one's from AA Smith 78. It says I'd be fine never hearing about Conor again. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.